It was the summer of 1863, during the American Civil War. It was apparent that the Union was slowly yet surely defeating the southern states. Many of the Confederates had lost faith in God at this point, and had begun exploring new sciences that may help them win the war against their inconceivably invincible northern foes. And so, a Confederate medical laboratory was created. Though part of this purpose was to create drugs and other things for the medicinal purposes to aid the soldiers in the field, this was used to cover up the real purpose of the laboratory. The idea was to make stronger soldiers for their army. Certain steroids were created in the lab and applied to captured Union soldiers as test subjects, but all of it resulted in death or paralysis. It was nearing the end of 1864 and all looked grim for the South. The founder of the laboratory, Dr. A.S. Priggott, had nearly lost all hope in his secret projects in creating super soldiers, and would have given up on it, until a certain figure approached him. The doctor couldn't see the face or anything about the figure that would make him distinctive, as he had a long black trench coat and a top hat which concealed his face. The figure simply handed the doctor a vial that was filled with a liquid that had a strange colour and an eerie aura surrounding it. "Have a soldier drink it," the figure said, and then vanished into the flame right before the doctor's eyes. Overcome with shock, he nearly dropped the vial and spent 2 days in his office, never coming out except for getting his meals. Finally, on the third day, he walked out of his room with a determined expression on his face. No one really knows what happened to him when he was in that room alone, though Moss has just assumed he was sleeping in. "Find me a loyal soldier for the South," he commanded to one of his assistants. It didn't take long for one to arrive at his door. His name was Adam Slater. The doctor had Adam go to his room and sit on a bench. Immediately after he sat down, a dozen attendants rushed and restrained the surprised and violently swearing soldier. Dr. Priggott took the vial from his pocket and removed the cork. "You shall be the solution," Priggott whispered, as he had Adam's mouth forced open and poured fluids down his throat, holding his nose and mouth tightly shut so the soldier would properly swallow the mysterious and potentially dangerous liquid. It took about 12 seconds before the drug was ingested. At first there was no change in him, and Dr. Priggott was feeling his hopes dash away. That was until Adam had begun to scream. His screeches and moans of pain were reverberating and echoing throughout the room, and even made it through the hallways leading to the entrance. After what seemed like minutes of nothing but painstakingly powerful screams, the soldier fell silent and was motionless. Dr. Priggott was visibly shaken, but pressed on. He motioned for his attendants to release the test subject. The attendants were confused and terrified, and rightly so, but did as they were told. As soon as he was released, Adam stood up, keeping his head down and his eyes closed. Dr. Priggott finally spoke out. "Do you know who you are?" He wanted to ensure if the test subject had or hadn't gone through amnesia. The soldier opened his eyes and looked up at the doctor, and immediately Dr. Priggott could tell something was eerily wrong. The eyes of the test subject were practically screaming with a mixture of psychotic glee and murderous intent, and its grin, oh God, its grin was very sinister. It was very wide, wider than anyone could have thought possible. It seemed that he was the very embodiment of madness that has been barely contained in a mortal body. The soldier nodded, its grin never faltering, and its eyes not losing a bit of its malicious look. "Can you tell us your name?" Dr. Priggott was completely unnerved. He still believed that he was in control here. This would prove to be very costly in the next few seconds. In a raspy voice, possibly due to the scream his vocal cords endured, the subject answered, "A soldier." A split second after answering, the soldier grabbed 2 attendants on his sides and threw them against the wall with its inhuman strength. The others rushed in towards him, other than Priggott, who was staying back. The soldier let out a laugh that only a maniac could have done, as he let loose his wrath upon its attackers. Limbs were ripped off, skulls were broken, ribs were cracked, and none of the attendants survived the bloodbath. The soldier then turned around and looked at the doctor, who was completely horrified. Dr. Priggott then passed out due to the immense fear of what stood before him. The soldier then disappeared from the premises of the laboratory. It was only 2 months after he left that the Union captured the laboratory. Dr. Priggott wouldn't breathe a word to them about what happened, and he was pardoned after the war. The laboratory itself still exists, but now it's merely rubble. The soldier's whereabouts are unknown. He's been spotted throughout the country in his Confederate uniform, always atop a dead body of an unlucky pedestrian. The last he'd been seen was in 2007 in New York City. In the back of an alley was some dead gang members splattering the walls behind him. That is more than a century after the war had ended. Whatever he is now, he's no longer Adam Slater.